views expressed on this program are those of the host, guest, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Are you ready to thrive? It is time to take action. Hello, everyone. This is Jen, and you are listening to Thrive by Jen Radio on Transformation Talk Radio. What is the result of thriving? Body confidence, mind fulfillment, and soul synchronicity. Tune in to hear about these elements and the scientifically and spiritually proven action steps to stand in confidence, love from within, be unstoppable in fulfilling your dreams, and create synchronicity so you can flow toward abundance and love. Hear real stories that will inspire you to take action today and be a catalyst for positive change in this world through creating your own Thrive life. Let's do this. Feel empowered and ignite your soul with Thrive by Jen Radio starting now. Hey, good morning, everybody. You're listening to Thrive by Jen Radio on Transformation Talk Radio. I have a super special show today. I am here with my good friend, Miss Lisa Thompson. And Lisa is, Lisa, you're amazing. We're going to talk today about you have received a kidney transplant. You are a crazy inspiration to me. We've had several conversations. I've gotten to know Lisa, and I wanted to have her on for so many reasons. She's a tough cookie who is just massive impact on trials and tribulations, massive impact on a very special way, which we're going to talk about how you received your kidney transplant, because that was a very special gift. And I also want to talk about today your resilience, because I know you're going to inspire so many people today about your surgery, about what you're going through now, your recovery, and also we're going to spread this information out on your special gift and how you received your kidney. So first, let me give you a huge welcome for being here. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Jen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to dive right in, and you and I have talked about this before. We feel that the important conversation here to have today is how you came about receiving your kidney transplant, as well as this has not been an easy road, and you have, it's funny. I follow Lisa on Facebook on her everyday activities, and Lisa had her transplant, and Lisa has done more traveling than I've done in the past. I think in the past 5 years, Lisa is out and about all the time. And so we'll get to that story more towards the middle of the show, but I think that's so important for us to also hear about today, because it's not easy. And I know you can give some words of comfort to people who are out there that, we don't need to necessarily go through a kidney transplant, but however, we have our own stories, we have our own trials, we have our own tough times, so we can definitely gain from you and your experience. So let's dive in first. Share with me a little bit about the story. You needed a kidney transplant. Can you share a little bit about what led up to that?
Okay, so I was rapidly going from stage 3 to stage 4 to stage 5, and finally, February 23rd of 2018, they said that it was time to either start dialysis or start looking into dialysis, or to have a transplant. And I looked into dialysis, and it was not for me. So I felt like that the only option I really had was to do everything I could possibly do to get a transplant. And I was really hoping for a living transplant. And in order to get a transplant, they had to have the right match. They had to have the right antibodies, the right blood type. And so a really good friend of mine suggested I talk to a friend of his who had gone through having a transplant. and his friend Ellis Mirsky, who's an attorney with New York State Bar. He had gotten his in July. So I spoke to him in February, and he said that I had to believe that my life was worth sharing. And not only did I have to believe it, but I had to convince everyone that it was really important to help me to get the message out that I needed a kidney and that my life was worth sharing.
Absolutely.
So, he made me a website, and we posted the website May 11th because May 11th was the date that I had finally been approved and been put onto the transplant list.
Okay, so Lisa, I want to let me interrupt for 1 second. So just share with me a little bit. So this gentleman who you met was so you get the news you need a kidney transplant.
Right.
I mean, so many things go through your brain. Where does even somebody start? I mean, do you start calling up? What do you do? Do you call up friends? Do you call up family and say, get tested because I want to see if you're a match?
Well, I posted on Facebook on February 23rd that I had gotten the news from my doctor.
Okay.
Either to do dialysis or to have a transplant.
Okay.
Posting and calling and saying, we're here for you.
Awesome. Which is huge, right? Because we're all connected. I mean, that piece alone is so worth, I mean, if for anybody listening, when we see posts like that and we're such a connected world, social media, like respond, right? Even reach out with words of love and kindness because it makes a difference, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, my friends all did that. My family was kind of like not on the same page. My brother had just had an aortic aneurysm.
Wow.
So, on the page. And my other brother wanted nothing to do with it. And my mom was like, there's 120,000 people waiting for a transplant. What makes you think that you're going to actually get one? Just going and have dialysis. And my son even said, you can still cruise while you're on dialysis. Just figure it out. And that's a really good way to go. My sister-in-law's father had died being on dialysis. He had a lot wrong with him, so that he could not get a transplant. And she watched him die, and she said, "There's no way that's what you should do. But we can't help you because right now, I'm helping your brother."
Sure.
And my mom was going through a lot with her life, and she just wasn't really available. But my friend Seth was, and that's when he said, you need to call Ellis and get Ellis to help you because Ellis found his kidney and he wants to help you find yours.
Awesome.
And so I called Ellis like that night and I cried the entire call.
Yeah. I mean, that's huge. That's a big deal you're faced with.
Deal. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. I love how you were determined, right? Because you had a lot of naysayers around you.
Exactly.
Right? You believed something within yourself of what was good for you. And that right there is something important for our listeners to hear is that you had this belief inside of you that was like, you know what, I'm going to fight through this and this is what I want. This is what I want for me. And this is what I deserve.
Well, and I think Ellis had that same feeling. And really, every time I felt like I was struggling, I would call him. The other thing I did was I started seeing a therapist right away. I felt that was really, really an important piece to all of this. And he kept on saying, you can't jump 6 months ahead. You need to stay very present. And and I'm going to help you to do that. And I'm going to help you to stay really grounded and focused on what your next step is. Don't think 10 steps ahead. Think of what you need to do.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Lisa, we're going to take a quick short break. And when we get back, we're going to dive right back into that because I want to hear about this connection with Ellis and exactly what it brought you. You're listening to Thrive by Gen Radio on Transformation Talk Radio.
Is traditional medicine not working for you? Do you still feel as if your health isn't 100%? Here at the Holistic Medical Center, Dr. Nushin Darvish and the qualified staff look through the dimensions of wellness and start a healing plan prioritized to your needs. Our physicians assess the whole you until complete health is achieved. Get the help you need by visiting drdarvish.com or call 425-451-0404.
Have you ever wondered how you might feel differently if the books were full of her instead of him? What if your history lesson was filled with powerful women leaders and rulers? As a woman, would you feel more empowered? As a man, would you see women differently? I'm Megan Edge. I'd love for you to join me on my radio show, Playing on the Edge, Radical Change with Ease, with my co-host, Dr. Pat, on Transformation Talk Radio. I hope to see you there.
To find answers to life's questions, you need to look within yourself. Dr. Glenna Rice brings your questionable conversations on Transformation Talk Radio each month. Tune in each month for insight into how you can live up to your full potential. Dr. Glenna is a physical therapist, certified Access Consciousness, and Access Body Class facilitator. How does it get any better than this? For more information on Dr. Glenna Rice and her work, visit glennarice.com.
Tune in to The Truth is Funny with Colette Steffen each Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This hit show will have you thinking outside the box and riding the wave of infinite potential. Join Colette on the Higher Self Network, inspiring listeners to shine their brilliance and ensure success while roaring with laughter as they recognize the humor of the giant cosmic joke. Visit TheTruthIsFunny.com.
Choose the new earth on the Cornelia Stephanie Show. Tune in each week on Transformation Talk Radio as Cornelia takes listeners on an odyssey of higher consciousness to inspire, educate, and empower. Cornelia guides people on the path of self-healing, peace, and liberation. The Cornelia Stephanie Show is your catalyst for anchoring heaven on earth on a global scale. For more information, go to corneliastephanie.com.
Imagine that you can create anything you choose. Literally, imagine it. Join us to explore the neuroscience of imagination, intention, and ClearSpeak. Tune in to ClearSpeak Talk Radio with Dr. Ned Wolf on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Every fourth Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, as she explores how your inner dialogue, your conversations, and the words you choose to use can help set goals you keep. Achieve greater health and resources and feel the ease and flow of loving your life. For more information, visit JeanetteWolf.com.
Welcome back to Thrive by Jen Radio on Transformation Talk Radio. All right, let's dive right back in. All right, Lisa, you connected with Ellis, who, was a game changer. So tell me what happened. You connected with him.
I called him.
You called him.
Me to call him.
Okay.
And we're gonna do this together. I did it for me. I've done it for other people. This is Ellis, what he said, and I'm gonna do it for you. And I will be with you every step of the way. And he was there for me.
And then what happened? What was next steps?
So I wanted to get tested. I had to get tested to be listed. Okay. And so I called the hospital that my doctor told me to call, which was Columbia, and we made an appointment. But then I found out from my insurance company that they were not covered. So I ended up going to NYP, Weill Cornell. And Columbia is also New York Presbyterian, but for some reason they didn't cover them. So, and then there was a lot of testing to do, and a lot of medical tests. And then May 11th, I was able to get listed. And every test was difficult. And every time that I had another test, I'd check back in with Ellis. And in the meantime, Ellis and I were creating the website, which has since been taken down. But he does a kind of a website called kidney4 and then the person's name.com.
Okay. And so just for our listeners, so what's the premise behind it? So you go on a donor list. However, what's special about this is someone can offer to donate a kidney, right, for someone else, and
Right.
then in turn, you when a kidney comes up that matches, you are then on the list and you get that kidney.
Okay, well, you're jumping ahead to the swap.
Okay, sorry. Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right.
Right. So what typically happens is that you do ask friends and family to donate for you, but they have to match your blood type.
Okay.
So in May 11th, I posted the website, got 30,000 hits, but nobody was tested. Nobody was tested.
Okay.
And I spoke to Renewal in Brooklyn. They're a wonderful organization that Ellis had help from. And I found in the meantime a number of people that I'm friends with now have gotten help from Renewal. And Renewal is there more for the donor than for the recipient.
Okay.
And will help the donor every step of the way, like Ellis was helping me, to get tested, and even during the process of donation, they were there for my ultimate donor.
Awesome.
And okay, so I think we're skipping some steps.
That's okay. So you ask your friends and family, right? But no one's a match.
But, well, nobody's even getting tested.
Yeah, right.
What Renewal pointed out was that if they don't know me, they're not going to do it. So it's really important. The most important thing seems to be sharing it with your email contacts, because on Facebook, I know some people, but they weren't, doing it for whatever reason. But if you post that kind of like a website on your email to your email contacts, then they know you, and therefore they want to help me.
Yes.
Right. So ultimately, my significant other, Jeff, he posted the website as an email, and one of his friends saw it.
Okay.
And he called Jeff right away.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
So that's how we ended up doing the swap.
Okay.
That Ed Holowinko, who's my donor, well, he's the donor that gave on my behalf, had a blood type. And my blood type is an A+. So we were not a match. But there's a national center where we were entered as a pair. So that through that national exchange program, he was able to donate his B+ to a guy in Boston, and I was able to get my kidney from a woman in California.
Wow.
And Ed and I know each other, especially now that we've gone through this, we know each other much better. He really knew Jeff much better than he knew me. But neither of us know the people who we're connected with.
Amazing. So Ellis, though, for you, let's go back to Ellis for a minute. So Ellis was about taking you through being a support system for you.
Yes. And
awesome.
I think that's one of the holes in the system, is that, there is a site on Facebook where people can go for help, but they don't necessarily have a person for them that's Ellis. Yeah. And there doesn't seem to be a direct connection for people needing kidneys that is like recycle for the donor.
Right.
Or renewal for the donor. So Renewal was there for Ed.
Okay, so the support.
The person that was really my support was Ellis.
Yeah,
He through it. And then also got to be good friends with Denise, who I met through the kidney website, the kidney Facebook page. And Denise found her donor, Kathleen. She found her through Renewal as well.
Wow.
And Renewal had been a big help to Ellis, but Ellis was doing it differently with me to start with. He was helping me to make the website, and I didn't get to Renewal until July. So
when this was going on, what would you say was what's so important for people is that you want to get your name, your information out there, what you need, right, to this email list, friends, family, contacts. just as much information as possible, correct?
Yes. Well, you want them to know that for most donors, it's easy. Ed was only in the hospital for 2 days. There was relatively little pain. A week later, he traveled to Arizona and he put in a new floor for his daughter. So the surgery itself was laparoscopic, and he had a very easy time with it. For most donors, that's the way it is. For Kathleen, she was a runner before. She's still running marathons as a living donor.
Yeah.
So typically that's the way it works.
So then
typically getting the transplant is a relatively easy thing as well. Most people, not me, but most people spend 4 days in the hospital and they go back to work in 6 to 8 weeks.
Wow. That's amazing.
My situation wasn't like that.
Yeah, well, and we will talk about that, because you've been your resilience and your fortitude in getting through this has been amazing. So, let's share with our because I have to say, talking to you, I was talking to my boys the other day, and I was telling them your story, and I said, wouldn't it be cool if I don't know, right? If in this lifetime we have 2 kidneys, we can live with one. You donated your kidney in this kind of situation. And we'll talk about the swapping, but you're giving, I mean, you got life from it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. You got life from it.
Or to dialysis altogether.
Yeah. Yes. And also too, your, I mean, dialysis is that I understand where it's, it does help and buy people time, but ultimately you want to be able to be free and to live your life and continue, right? Doing all the things that you wanted to do.
Well, and totally living my life, traveling and being an advocate for other people who are in similar situations.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that. All right. So you had your, Ellis was your support system. Yes. Renewal is a support system for the donor, which is on both ends extremely important. Yes. And then you had found out that there is a national registry where you can swap.
Right. So I think a lot of the medical shows on TV, just popular medical shows, have been focusing on this whole notion of chaining. And chaining is a concept where A gives to B, B gives to C, C gives to D. And sometimes the chains can be upwards of 8 people. So that even though you're not a match with your friend is having their kidney or a number of additional organs. Lungs can do it as well. Pancreas might not. But there are other organs where you can. I mean, I know that there's a huge pancreas transplant system across the hall for where I did my kidney, but so often people don't find out that they need it fast enough, and they're gone before they do anything about it. A lot of people have double kidney and pancreas transplants, and they're in there. They do them at the same time. And fortunately, I didn't need that. So there must be some kind of a pancreas transplant system. But they can do it through these chains. And the chaining concept, I don't know enough about it, but there was a Nobel Prize given to an economist who came up with the idea of chaining. And so now there's this national system that, you put all of my information into and all of Ed's information into, and they find who needs these organs.
Wow.
There's a really good TED Talk by Ned, who lives in Norwalk, and I can't remember his last name. Maybe we can look it up during a break.
Absolutely.
And he works with a program called Donor to Donor and helps donors to find people to give to and people to find donors. There's a number of different programs like that. And each one kind of has a different job. So that, it does seem that the number of transplants has been rising.
Sure. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, I want to dive right back into this and also give some information, because I want to keep track of the important websites. So what you said, donor to donor, where
Right.
people, because what I'm hearing is that, you're given this overwhelming information, and there's potential for feeling very alone.
Exactly.
Right. And not knowing that there's life-saving, right? There's someone out there to save your life and provide this for you. So
Exactly.
when we get back, we'll chat about that. You're listening to Thrive by Gen Radio on Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, I'm Steve Kramer of Spirit Fire Radio, and I believe that meditation changes everything. It leads us in the direction of greater well-being, and that's a fact. I struggled with meditation for years. I understood the principles, but I found it hard to incorporate them into my everyday life. Spirit Fire's meditation practice changed that. It's called the Practice of Living Awareness, and it's taught in 14 steps. These are 14 tools that I can use in any moment, on and off the cushion. Steps like smile, flow, and ground of being support my clarity of mind while I'm navigating the ups and downs of modern life. That's why it's called the Practice of Living Awareness. If you'd like to add meditation to your daily experience, the Practice of Living Awareness is free, online, and it's suited for any level of practitioner. Visit spiritfire.com for more information. And be sure to check out Spirit Fire's meditation retreats in Western Massachusetts. It's all there at spiritfire.com.
What is holding you back from living the life you are meant to live? Why is it vital to believe in something bigger than yourself? Are you in physical or emotional pain? Tune in monthly to Vibrant Purposeful Living. Awaken the vibrant life within you with Lou Paradise and Dr. Pat on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Lou's passion is to help everyone experience positive solutions for life. Find out more about Lou with Vibrant Purposeful Living at LouParadise.com.
Living Lighter Radio with Jason and Patricia. We have an ecosystem approach to your life. Tune in weekly every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio as we, Jason and Patricia, discuss what's truly holding you back. We offer you the tools you need to reach your goals and at the same time be living lighter. For more information about Living Lighter, visit www.livinglighter.org.
Golden Otter Divinations Radio, where the metaphysical meets the mainstream with Autumn Seibel. Tune in the first Friday every month at 9 a.m. Pacific as Autumn, educator, health coach, and medium, explores metaphysical and mainstream strategies on how to elevate your level of conscious living. Draw in the abundance that is yours by divine right. For more information about working with Autumn, visit goldenotter.us. That's golden like the precious metal and otter like the precious animal.us.
Choose the new earth on the Cornelia Stephanie Show. Tune in each week on Transformation Talk Radio as Cornelia takes listeners on an odyssey of higher consciousness to inspire, educate, and empower. Cornelia guides people on the path of self-healing, peace, and liberation. The Cornelia Stephanie Show is your catalyst for anchoring heaven on earth on a global scale. For more information, go to corneliastephanie.com.
Welcome back to Thrive by Gen Radio on Transformation Talk Radio. I'm here with my good friend Lisa Thompson. So Lisa, when we left off, we were you brought up to me on break very important website. So I just want to throw it out there to our listeners. There is Ned Brooks, who you spoke about, that gave the TED Talk. His website is called donortodonor.com. And also your guy, Ellis, who is, right, he is the huge emotional support, and anyone in this situation should reach out. And his is kidneyquest.org. And that's also home of thesimplekidney.com.
Right.
Which is awesome.
SimpleKidney.com goes through everything people need to know in order to put their own website together.
Okay. And so if you receive the news that you need, it's so interesting to me. So let me ask you this. When you got the news from your doctor, did they just kind of like send you out the door? And
well, I had been with my nephrologist, who's a kidney specialist, for about 2 years at that point.
Okay.
Doing everything to follow my creatinine level and to follow my GFR, which after transplant, you don't follow the GFR anymore, but we still closely monitor the creatinine. So right now, as a result of getting the kidney, my creatinine is under 1. It's generally around a 0.8. When I needed the kidney, I was at around a 4.0. Some people go until they're at 7. But you start feeling worse and worse and worse. So once I got my creatinine to a 4, in spite of everything I was trying to do with diet and exercise and resting and just watching my bloods and, doing everything I was told for that 2-year period, and even before that, it was time to start investigating. So it wasn't like, okay, you need a kidney today, you need dialysis today. It's just when we got to a 4, there's a cutoff at different hospitals, in fact, for where your creatinine needs to be in order to become listed.
Okay.
So there's a range, but 4 was only within that range.
Okay.
It wasn't that he just told me, surprise, today's the day. He had been saying, I think you'd be a good candidate for PD, which I don't exactly know what it stands for, but it's peritoneal dialysis. They put a catheter into your abdomen. It's one of the forms of dialysis. You can do it at home. You avoid needles. People seem to be happy on it because they can do it more often than just the 3 times a week that you would go into a center for dialysis. So he had been talking about that, and I had talked to DaVita, which is one of the dialysis centers. It's a huge group throughout the country about diet, and I had been shown information by them. So none of it was like a surprise. And he remained available to me after that date until I had my transplant. Once I had my transplant, I was given a new nephrologist at the center who's now been following me, and they have not released me back to my other nephrologist.
Okay.
So, so no, they didn't just hang me out to dry.
Okay. Just checking. So, okay, let's talk about the swap, because that's pretty spectacular. So, this gentleman, Ed, right, had seen through an email from Jeff, your significant other, your story. And so what I don't know, what did something catch Ed's heart and say, like, you know what, I need to do this?
Okay, so Ed had wanted to be a bone marrow transplant donor for someone that he knew that needed the bone marrow. And because he was over 60, he was not eligible to do that.
Okay.
Even though he's in great shape and just takes really good care of his body. They had some kind of an age cutoff and they would not allow him to do it.
Okay.
So as he's just a remarkable person that's just very giving and very spiritual and special. And he just felt like this was his calling, that he wanted an opportunity to be able to help someone to save their life. And when he saw it, he was like, is this for real? Is it a joke? His wife had lived next door to Jeff's family for many, many years. And so, Ed works in construction, and he had helped Jeff with all kinds of work over the years. And they were friends. So he called Jeff and just said, what's going on? And Jeff said, this is what's happening. And he said, I really want to do whatever I can to do to help.
Wow.
And, yeah.
What was that like, Lisa? What was that like, hearing that?
I felt like I had an opportunity to save my life.
Yeah.
Oh, it was really, really special.
Yeah.
And Jeff didn't want me to call him. He didn't want me to talk to him. He wanted to, like, just, you know, typically when you have somebody that's willing to be a donor, it's kind of like they have their own journey. And he didn't want me to try to, like, you know, thank him at that point or convince him or do anything. But Jeff was really there for him, and Renewal was really there for him. And then as soon as, well, the morning that we were both, that we both entered the hospital, then the four of us got together, and I showed you that picture of all four of us wearing the T-shirts from his wife. Yeah. And it was just like, wow, this is really going to happen.
Yeah. And so, it's so wonderful. And so, all right. So you get
so
that.
Great. I'm grateful to Jeff.
Yeah. I mean,
to Ella.
And this is, you know, I want people to
California, whose name I still don't know.
Yeah. I want people to take away that we're all connected, right? We're all supposed to be here for each other, you know, like that's why we're here. So, you guys are living examples of that. That's, you know what I mean? You're the testimony. All right. So Ed goes in then, he agrees, he gets tested. And there's this, you talked about there's this, national registry. And because Ed then goes in and says, look, I'm not a match for my friend, but I'm willing to donate on her behalf.
Well, I don't think he knew that he wasn't a match when he first went in.
Okay. Gotcha.
Even it's funny, he gives like a gallon of blood a month, something like ridiculous like that. He's always, you know, because he cares so much about helping people but he didn't know his blood type.
That's funny.
Yeah. And so he went in and got tested, and they said, you know, wow, you're in great shape to give, but you're not a match. And how would you feel about entering a program where we could do an exchange? And he said, I want to do anything I can do to help. And so I was called not by him, but by the person at the hospital who coordinates this. And she said, you know, would you want to be entered? And I said, yes. And she said, well, this should go very quickly. She said, are there any dates that you can't do it? And I was like, well, in September, I've got a family wedding that I really want to go to. In October, I'd love to go to Hawaii.
You're so cool. You're like negotiating life.
She said, well, you can't travel anymore after this.
Yeah.
But you can go to the wedding. And they called me right before the wedding and gave me, which was the weekend of September 15th.
Wow.
And I knew it like 6 months in advance that there was this wedding, and I didn't know if I'd ever make it there.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're thinking, right? That's what when you talked about before about talking with the therapist, just share a little bit about, it's people don't understand the importance. I'm a big God girl. I'm a Bible girl. And even in the Bible, it talks about living just in today. So share with everybody about how important that was for your journey, because if you let your mind go too far in advance, you could be picturing the end of your life.
Right.
So how did you do that? How did you stay present?
Like day one, I was crying all the time. And day two, I was still crying all the time. And I just felt like, you know, that years before that, I had a therapist to get me through breast cancer, actually. And she and I were fine, but I didn't think she was the right match. And I called through my insurance company. They have like a separate psych line. And I called them and I talked to them. And they said, you know, we're going to help you right away to find a therapist in your area. And they called me like the next day and they said, you know, why don't you give this guy a call? And I talked to him, and the first time I met with him, I didn't think like he was really a great match. He talks about movies. It's like, hello, I'm here because I'm like, you know, feeling like I'm going to die. Like, I don't care about the movies you're talking about. And he still does that. And I listen because I'm so grateful to him for being there for the past year. But I keep on thinking, like, I don't really care about this movie. I care about you helping me to feel okay driving for like the first time, and we've just become really good friends. So if he wants to talk about his movies, it's okay because he got me to this point. And
Sure.
he, for a while, after getting the kidney, I was really struggling, and he was on the phone with me like almost every day. And then after coming home, he came to the house a couple of times, and then we had phone calls for a long time because I wasn't strong enough to get to the office, even though it's like 5 minutes from here. I couldn't walk up the flight of stairs. And finally I'm back to seeing him in his office.
So we're gonna take a short break, and what I want you to think about when we're on break, we're gonna talk about your top. If you could give me 3 tools that you use in any given day, when you're feeling like if you remember a few weeks ago, you and I spoke, and you were having a tough day because you had done a lot that day, right? And it had exhausted you, but you picked yourself up and you moved right through that feeling of feeling down. So when we get back from break, I just want you to give a little taste to our listeners about some things that you do that have helped you, because you have resilience that is endless. And so I would love to share that with our listeners. So when we get back, you're listening to Thrive by Gen Radio on Transformation Talk Radio.
Goddess-like shamanic healer Bree Gibbs guides us through the ascending worlds, bringing forth knowledge and truth. As a light creator, she is here to provide new information needed at this time in our evolution. Join Bree as she shares messages from guides, spirits, ascended masters, goddesses, and more. Tune in Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific for the Dr. Bree Show, The Goddess Emergence, and live the authentic life.
You said forever, you said always. Now you know things have changed, and going back is not an option. It's sudden, devastating, and is like taking a leap of faith. Tune in to From Two to You, Thriving After Divorce Radio, as Sarah Luz, empowerment coach and spiritual mentor, reminds you to have faith in yourself. Tune in every second Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific and listen as Sarah encourages you to leave negative stories in the past and move forward. We all need a friend when I do becomes I can't. Let Sarah help as life takes you in a new direction. Leave the guilt and doubt in the past, step into the spotlight, and show the world who you are. To find out more about Sarah Luz, visit sarahluz.com.
Dream on, fly high, and live adventurously on The Laura Meeks Show. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio as host Laura Meeks guides you in finding your unique gifts and bringing them to life. As a certified life coach, speaker, and veteran bomber pilot for the U.S. Air Force, Laura knows how to follow a dream. She is ready to support you so you can dream on, fly high, and live adventurously. For more information on Laura and her work, visit flyhighliving.com.
Are you ready to embrace your essence and the magic of who you are? Let me, Emily Perkins, hold your hand and walk with you as we go treasure hunting for the gold that lies within you. Tune in to Love Living Radio every second and fourth Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. For more information, visit lovelivingHolistics.com.
Calling all moms, it's time to awaken your vibrant, intuitive, loving self in every area of your life. Join host Debbie Pokornik as she shares thoughts, stories, and tools to help you stand in your power. Listen to Vibrant, Powerful Moms helping everyday women create extraordinary lives. Mondays at 2:30 Pacific, 5:30 Eastern. For more information about Debbie, visit empoweringenergy.com. That's empowering with letters NRG.com.
Are you searching? Looking for a sign? A message you need to hear? From the great unknown, from the most mysterious place that is the most familiar to your soul in the depths of who you are. The universe put someone here to talk to, someone God gave a blessing to, that you may find insight with. TheAngelLady.net. 1-800-323-1790.
Welcome back to Thrive by Jen Radio on Transformation Talk Radio. All right, so when we left off, Lisa is going to share her secret sauce for getting through those tough moments. So what's number one?
So number one is the gratitude notebook. So my son, Randy, wanted me to start writing down 3 things I was grateful for, even though I was going through anxiety and fear and doubt and depression before getting the kidney. He made me start it sometime during, I don't know when I started, but before I got the kidney. Yeah. He wanted me to make sure that I wrote down 3 things every day that I was grateful for. And he had a lot of rules, like I couldn't repeat any of them within a 30-day period. And for the first couple of days, he made me post the 3 things as a photo from that gratitude journal to Facebook, because he said that would keep me honest. And he was going to be checking to make sure that I posted this. And then he said for like a week, he didn't make me do that anymore. Yes. I still do that gratitude.
Still do it.
Yeah. And I find like a lot of times that reading back the things that I was grateful for in like the months that have gone on really helps a lot. And I find that, sitting down at night and thinking about the things from that day that I'm grateful for helps me to like kind of forget about the things that have been annoying and challenging and depressing, and to really focus on the things that felt good that day.
Yeah. So, that's amazing. I love that. And I share that with my clients all the time, but you don't, right? Your testimony to the power of it. Right. You literally were, this wasn't, you weren't given easy news. You haven't been through an easy experience. This was, right? No. This was on a level 1 to 10. This was an 11.
Yeah, exactly.
This was an 11. What's the second thing you like to do? You shared with me about your younger son.
Okay. So my younger son, from the time that he was born 9.5 weeks early. And he needed a lot of strength and a lot of love to get through that first year, and even beyond that, and all kinds of therapy. But when he was really little, around age 2, he used to like to sit in lotus position on the therapy ball. Wow. And he liked to put his feet above, like behind his neck. I always called him my guru.
Yeah.
And he's just always been there for me. And when he's just a real pillar of strength. And I think a lot of it is because he went through so much. Yeah. And I was there for him then, and he's there for me now. So what he really likes to point out to me is things that I said to him beforehand. Like his mind is really sharp. He remembers everything that in every conversation. He's incredible. And he'll point out to me, that I didn't think I could do Thanksgiving with my family, and that I did do Thanksgiving with my family. Randy invited us all up to Buffalo, and it was an 8-hour drive, and David drove. And on the way up and back, we practiced lines for a script he was working on. He's an actor.
Cool.
And he's like, Mom, but you did that.
Yeah.
Even though I feel like, sometimes I'm not doing as well as I want to do, he's like, but you did that. And you went on a cruise, and you went to visit your father, and you went to visit your mother, and look at
all the time, Lisa. I'm following you. I'm like, where's she? Hashtag where's Lisa?
Yeah, well, he points it out. Mom, you told me you weren't going to leave the house for a year, and surprise.
You're like literally traveling around the world. And then you said your third one was your friends.
Yeah, my friends have been very, very supportive. And I love it, like when I post a picture on Facebook and I'll get like 100 people liking it. So even if I don't talk to those people like that day, I know that they're there. And I can call any of them pretty much any time, and they're just very supportive. They listen and they care, and they keep reminding me that they're there for me.
It's interesting. You and I know each other. I don't know you. I know you, but I don't know you super well. But I have to be honest with you. The thing that I pick up from you, we've talked about that. I've talked about this with other people, how important a tribe is. I see your tribe. Like, I know you have a phenomenal tribe of people around you. You really do, which says a lot about you. You have strong people around you lifting you up, and you and I talked. I want to. We're coming up to the final segment, but this is important because you and I talked about this on our last call. You brought up feeling. You were down. You talked about feeling more down about the fact that you were feeling down, and my words to you were like, I couldn't literally, like, you're amazing. You're absolutely amazing in you going through this, as well as the people around you lifting you up, right? And we're not supposed to do this alone, right? We're not supposed to do this alone. So just talk a little bit about, do you feel like that's your tribe, and you have helped people in the past not to get something in return? You've helped people, and in turn, that's right. We reap what we sow, and you've sowed this amazing tribe. Do you feel that? I want you to take some credit here.
I feel it's really special that you're pointing that out. And as you're talking about it, I'm thinking about it. I'm connected to a lot of different groups. So I have Clearwater and environmental friends, and I have music friends, and I have art friends. And I think by getting involved with Embark, I have a lot of very, very special people in my life that were not there before. There were different people there, but the people that I've met through Embark, especially the artist community and the theater community, have been very supportive. And I appreciate the circle that I've created.
Yeah. How are you doing now? Give us an update on it. When it's been, was it a year in September?
No.
When was it? When was the actual? When was the actual transplant?
So we're at about 6 months.
We're about 6 months. Okay, I'm sorry. I wrote down a date that you were talking about before, but I think that was with Ellis. So we're at the 6. My gosh, woman, it's only 6 months.
I guess if I compare myself to me, I've
compare it like to Superman
to the people that do great and are back at work in 2 months. So I haven't worked.
Yeah.
And I love what I do for work. I'm a speech pathologist, and I work with 2-year-olds, and I don't know if they'll ever let me go back to doing that. I've been getting a lot of calls lately, so I think I'm ready to ask them whether at some point I can go back to working.
Why wouldn't you be able to? Is that because of sickness? The germs, which I understand.
I'm on immunosuppressants, and I have to be very careful with being exposed to kids that put their fingers every place. Them and then on me.
Absolutely.
So, 2-year-olds just don't know differently.
Yeah.
So I'm able to work with older kids, but maybe not with the younger ones. I have to talk to my team. But your question was more about this.
Like how do you now? Yeah. How do you feel now?
It's been 6 months. I went back to Toastmasters last night for the first time since beforehand. So I'm not officially a member, but I want to get more comfortable with telling my story so I can do advocacy work. And right now, I just feel like I'm talking to you, even though there's millions of people listening. But last night, talking to 8 people was very difficult. And I want to be able to do that comfortably. So Toastmasters is a good place. Yesterday was the first time I drove by myself since before surgery.
Yeah.
So step. It gives me a lot of freedom to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
And I was able to find a parking spot that was right near Toastmasters to walk across the street and get a slice of pizza, to walk back and to drive home in the dark. And so driving in the dark and I don't get along, and I drive very short distances because of my vision. But the fact that I was able to do that again was thanks to David, who drove with me right before the cruise and said, "Mom, you're okay to do this. You can do it." And then yesterday I did it, and I'm planning on trying it again today.
Oh my goodness!
There's not any gas in my car. That I don't want to pump my own gas. Like, I just think that could be something that the fumes from that.
Sure. Oh yes, for sure.
Like lead to rejection. And,
okay. All right.
I'm trying to be like very careful about rejection.
Okay. So, absolutely.
Yeah. So,
Lisa, I apologize for interrupting. We have about a minute. Will you share if there's something on your heart that you want to share with our listeners? What would that be? Just
okay.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm gonna.
I got it. So it makes me very sad that there's still so many people on the list, and it makes me even sadder that there's so many people on dialysis that are not on the list. And I want to do whatever I can do to help those people to connect to the right spaces.
I love that.
So that they can get their kidney.
I love that, Lisa. You are incredible. And I got to be honest with you. There's no doubt in my mind that that you've already done it. And I know, I don't know. I know I know your gift is through speech pathology. That's what you've done, but I don't know. I'm feeling a higher calling coming to you, my girl. I think a higher calling has been called, and you're going to see people's lives. So thank you so much for taking this time out today. It's just, you're a gift. You really are. You've been a gift to me, and I know you're going to continue to be a gift to me and an inspiration. And I look forward for us to do something in the future together to bring this out to the world.
Well, thank you so much, Jen, and thank you, Carter, and thank you all for listening.
You've been listening to Thrive by Jen Radio on Transformation Talk Radio.
Thank you for listening to Thrive by Jen Radio on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Tune in live each Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, as Jen shares the action steps and real stories from people throughout the country that will ignite you to stand in confidence, love from within, and be unstoppable at fulfilling your dreams. For more information, podcast downloads, and to connect with Jen, visit jenniferzellup.com.